Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
KCAA 1050 AM all through most of Southern California. If you miss us live, you can always catch us on the Roku app, on Amazon Fire, or on the Android on the Building Solid Foundations channel. That's a free download for you. So catch us. We also have a replay on Sundays on KCAA at 2 p.m. Today, we are going to be talking to a very talented and special individual that I've met a few times. I was introduced to him through a mutual connection. His name is Manny Lopez. Manny helps create and enhance speakers, coaches, authors, and consultants with strategic PR opportunities and dynamic systems of automation. He is a husband and father of three and devotes his time to creating a lifestyle that he calls being too blessed to stress, and he creates opportunities for his network over 30,000 business professionals worldwide. He is a paid consultant on lead generation to over 1,000 brands worldwide. We're going to talk a little today about also his passion project, which is From Orphan to CEO, where he teaches mentorship, entrepreneurship, and faith to day one entrepreneurs, at-risk youth, and kids that age out of the foster care system. And we're going to talk with him about all these endeavors and what he does. Welcome, Manny, to Building Solid Foundations. It's a pleasure to have you here. Okay, so I actually want to start with the latter part of what I said, because obviously you're a business person, and that's kind of how I know you. But I like people that have a bigger purpose and something that they're doing where they're using their skills and their gifts to improve everything around them, not just, helping people with business improves things, but helping improve those that really can't do much back for you. So Orphan to CEO, I had foster kids at one time. And one of the concerns I had was that as they get to 18, they basically get unceremoniously dumped out of the system, left on the street to their own devices. It's like, have a good life, hope everything turns out, and you don't have nobody to talk to anymore, no more health care, no more nothing. You're just on your own, figure it all out for yourself. So the fact that you're working with them is great. So tell me how you got started with all that and how that works.
Sure. So back in 2017, I had this pivot in business where I just had to start all over in a sense, and new networks, new opportunities, new ideas. And I wanted to do it in some way where I could actually be giving back simultaneously. I attended this event in Vegas, and one of the speakers was talking about a Tom Shoes business model, where they said, every business can do this. They create a product or service that can serve at least two people for every one customer they bring in, similar to Tom Shoes. Every time you buy a pair of shoes, they give a pair of shoes away. And so I created this business model where I said, all right, well, I can definitely structure something like that, and started looking at my own skill sets of automation and systems and say, what can I actually bring to the table and where do I want to bring it to? Started looking at my own life. I mean, I'm a foster kid myself. I was bouncing around to different homes for years. And, I ended up being adopted, but a lot of these kids that don't, they end up just like you're saying, at 18 or 21, depending on state, they are kicked out to the curb. 20% of kids that turn 18 are instantly homeless. And we wanted to find a way to bring them what helped me: mentorship, entrepreneurship, and faith. So that's where this whole From Orphan to CEO concept came from. Originally, it was me hosting events, getting on stage, teaching these kids directly, but it was really difficult to get them in the room. From the schools to the chaperones to the busing to all of the different things, availability to actually getting the kids to actually have the ability to get somewhere was tremendously difficult. So that's when we created the Manifestation School of Business. And this is how we teach the kids how to find a mentor, how to start their own business, and how to really build their own dream by putting faith as a foundation.
Okay. And so when you talk about building faith, obviously that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people in our world. And there's the idea of faith and religion and spirituality and all those kind of things. So what angle do you approach that from?
I would say, they definitely get to hear the stories of the other entrepreneurs that we bring in. When I ask them about faith, it does become very, it really comes back to a lot of their life story. But the way I kind of simplify it for our members and our students is looking at their story. The chaos that they've been through will truly one day become someone else's survival guide. So they have to have the faith that they're building something for the next generation and not just looking at trying to figure out why them, and understanding that the chaos that they've gone through, the difficulties, the hardships, they can actually use that as stepping stones to build their success.
Okay, and I agree with that. I think humans are uniquely designed to have to face challenges in order to grow, mature, build, gain experience, for the express purpose of overcoming and becoming stronger and being able to help others. I think that's kind of just the way the system is set up for whatever reason, however you want to describe how that worked, whether that was evolutionary or the way God designed it or whatever you want to say. And I think sometimes, obviously, part of what we need to do is help other people who are in distress. On the other hand, sometimes overplaying the hand of trying to prevent anybody from ever having any challenges actually can hurt them, because it is those challenges that builds them and makes them stronger. And that's what can turn them into, obviously you've taken that challenge and turned it into the positive that it needs to be to become an overcomer and now teach others.
Hugely. I mean, this whole process started with a conversation that I had with God that said, help the orphans, you have no fear. And so faith is definitely the strong point of my foundation. And then one of the big things that I noticed, I spent a month interviewing millionaires, and I asked them, what was that difference maker? And that common denominator always came down to faith, having the faith that they were truly building something that is bigger than them. So it definitely ties into a lot of spirituality for what I've done personally and for what a lot of the success stories that I found. But that faith could mean a lot of different things to different people. It really just depends on what is driving them to know that they can win, that it is possible for them.
Right. And one of the keys there also is they have to have faith in understanding that they can do it. And one thing that helps build the faith is if you destroy some of the myths. The myth that most of the millionaires inherited their money. That's simply not true. About 79% of the current millionaires out there did not inherit any of the money, zero. About another 5% inherited a very small amount, not enough, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, not enough to make a huge difference. A 5% beyond that maybe inherited $100,000 to $300,000. That is something you can do with. It's something you stake, but that could lead you to be a millionaire. But when you add all that up, you're at 90% pretty much of people that did not inherit it or got such a little amount or just a little bit of seed money, and they really worked for it. They made it happen. And so if we explode that myth, I think that helps the faith piece to say, you know what, you can do this too, because 90% of the people that did it started where you were.
I 100% agree. And a lot of the ways that we structure our education is by example. It's showing that, look, there's somebody that's had a similar background story to you that you can relate to, that is actually out there building their own dream versus waiting for permission to build someone else's.
Right. And the other thing I look at in our culture, the people that are teaching our next generation do not know this themselves. That's right. I mean, how many independently wealthy, self-sustaining school teachers do you know? And I not to knock school teachers. They do a great job. They're doing a wonderful service, and they're frankly underpaid in a lot of cases, but they don't know. And you can't teach somebody what you don't know because they learned in the same education system.
Exactly. It's really the basis of manifestation is all of our educators, quote unquote, are active in the industries that they teach. So they're giving real world experience versus what they read in a book or what a mentor told them or what they read online. They're actually walking the walk of what they're talking.
Right. And I think that's, so I work at a college, and the college I work at is career focused. It's architecture, it's construction management, it's product design, it's graphic design. It's those type of programs, a new school here in San Diego. And the faculty is overwhelmingly not PhDs. It is people that practice every day what they teach every afternoon or evening in the school. Obviously, the general eds are a little different because those are humanities, which you have PhDs for that stuff, specialties. But for the core classes, they are architects in the daytime, they are construction managers in the daytime, they are accountants in the daytime, they are attorneys at the daytime, they are whatever they're doing out there. And then they come into the classroom and pass that on to the next generation. And I find that to be much more valuable personally than having someone that took a terminal degree in a topic 30 years ago and hasn't ever done it.
Exactly. Implementation. That's the key.
Right. So I think that's the right approach. Get the people that have done it because they know it best. So kudos to you for that. I think again, I wanted to start with that because to me that's a big deal. And I was not a foster kid like you were, but I did have some foster kids that I took care of for a while, and they were older kids. People don't like to deal with the older kids a lot of times. They were middle school and high school, and that was one of my biggest concerns is when they age out, what happens to them? Where do they go? There's so many of them that end up in jail.
2 out of 3 of these kids, within just 1 year, they're either dead, homeless, strung out on drugs, or in jail. That's statistics. 60% of sex trafficking victims are coming from foster care.
Yes.
And 5 of these kids are instantly homeless at 18. And what's on my shirt here, foster kids get a trash bag and 10 minutes to pack up their lives. That was
right.
Multiple times, 8 different families I'd go to with a trash bag, taking whatever I had in my possession, and that was life. That's how these kids are treated. So of course they're demoralized. Of course they
don't have
SD, all these things.
Yeah, more so you don't have that lifetime adult that you can trust and that loves you unconditionally to take that. That's a big piece of the puzzle that's missing out of that. We're going to have to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to go on a little more positive note and talk about some of the other things you're doing, Manny. This is Building Solid Foundations Radio. My guest today is Manny Lopez, and we are talking about his Manifestation School of Business, and he does other great things for business owners as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Hi, this is Jim McLaughlin with Effective Action Consulting, and I've been a member of Fire Up Connect for, probably 3 years now. And what I really like about Fire Up Connect is the unique model that we go through, that we follow, the agenda, so to speak, in the meeting that really has us get engaged and involved with each other in the meetings. It's not that we're individuals, it's that we're all really working together to better ourselves, our businesses, and the community through the projects that we work on. So I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to network with people in this environment, and it's really impacted my business in a big way. So take a look.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio Talk Show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental properties, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Real Men of Real Estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Most mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically go to the radio station KCAAradio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Are you a real estate investor looking for a new opportunity in one of the top tourist destinations in the world? Look no further. Welcome to Punta Cana. Perla Bahia is a private resort-style community in Punta Cana that consists of modern condos, custom villas, and various commercial amenities. So if you're interested in learning more or joining us on one of our monthly investment tours, don't hesitate to contact me today at 909-494-2280.
Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations Radio. I'm your host, Steve Matley. Today we are talking to Manny Lopez. Manny Lopez is he helps speakers, coaches, authors, and consultants with his PR opportunities. And before the break, we were talking about his program of Manifestation School of Business, where he works with at-risk youth. He also works with day one entrepreneurs and other people that need help, actually, that need mentorship. So let's talk about the day one entrepreneur, Manny. Entrepreneurs are a different animal. One of the things that I find fascinating is you'll go to these, SCORE meetings and other entrepreneur help clubs, and they'll bring somebody in as a big speaker who was the CEO of some big corporation. And I thought, that's great, but that person knows nothing about entrepreneurship because they came into a Fortune 500 company that already existed, and they know how to run a very large, complicated organization, but they don't know how to start at a kitchen table and build up from that. That's an entirely different skill set. And most entrepreneurs are not the kind of people that can run big corporations, nor are big corporate leaders the type of people that can be entrepreneurs. I know that sounds weird, but it's a different skill set. So you're talking to day one entrepreneurs. Where do these entrepreneurs come from? Who are these people? Terrible. I actually took those classes. I was very good at it. I'd slit my wrist if I had to be an accountant every day. And I thank God for the accountants that do it, because there's people that love it. They eat that stuff up. I hire them. Then there's the other mistake that entrepreneurs make is they have that thing they're really good at. It could be a hobby. It could be a trade that they're really good at. Like you said, your dad was in construction. So let's say you got somebody and they're great at hanging drywall. And they figure one day, why am I making the boss rich when I could go do this for myself? That the problem comes in is what you said, it has to become a business. What they do is they end up shifting from working for someone else to working in a new job they created for themselves. And it's not really a business. It's a new job they created themselves, but they're not just hanging drywall now. Now they are the CEO, the CFO, the marketing person, business development. They're the estimator. They're the scheduler. They're the front desk receptionist. They're everything. They're the purchasing agent. Now they have 18 full-time jobs to do, because they don't know the system. And the one thing they hate doing is the accounting and finance, and that will kill you if you don't know how to do that. Hire that stuff out. Yes. Right. Right. And when I used to do business consulting, I would actually create a organizational chart for a company. It had all the positions in it. And then I'd put their name in every single box. I say, this is why you're exhausted. And I'd ask them, I say, why did you go into business for yourself? And I always got the same three answers. It was, and you know these answers, I want to be financially independent. I want to have control of my time, and I want to be my own boss. And I always ask them, how's that working out? Well, let's see here. Financially, I'm the last person paid if I ever get paid. Everybody else gets paid, right? I got to pay everybody else first. And then if there's any money left over, sometimes I get some, usually I don't. I'm in debt right now. Then secondly, how's the walking for yourself? Okay, well, my customer's my boss, my suppliers are my boss, the government's my boss. I'm not really in charge of a lot, right? And anybody that owes me money that I've borrowed money from or taken investment capital, they're my boss too. And then the time thing, though, they do have flexible time. They can work any 21 hours of the day they want. That's kind of how that works, right? And so that's where we talk about, okay, let's start looking at which box you're going to give away first, right? Let's circle some boxes you don't want to do anymore and hire someone. They always, I can't really afford to hire somebody to do it. And I'm like, well, you can't really afford to hire someone not to. You have to do this. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And for at least the first 3 to 5 years, you're probably making less than you did at your W-2 job that you left because you have expenses and it's a lot of work. Yeah, it's crazy. That's right. That's right. And any money you did make, then you got to pay some taxes on that too. And it's just like, yeah. So where do we go from there? So that's great that you're doing that work. Day one entrepreneurs, have a lot to learn. Most of them did not go to business school. And if they did go to business school, they probably didn't learn entrepreneurship type of business. Business schools teach corporate business, which isn't bad. There's a lot of that's applicable, but a lot of it is not. Yeah. So I say this as an entrepreneur that has an MBA. So I know of which I speak because I've been there. And I would say my MBA has served me well, but at the same time, I would say 80% of what I have to know to run my businesses did not come from that formal education. I learned it from people like you. The business degree is not what they need. They need to work with other people that have done it and get basic information. And actually, you can get a lot of that stuff off of YouTube and things like that, but you have to kind of cull that, make sure you make sure it's accurate. But there's an embarrassment of riches out there right now between books and videos and all the stuff we have now that we didn't used to. On the other hand, if you end up building your business up to a point where you really want to scale it up, you probably want to go refer to some of that stuff they teach in the business schools, because that's what that is. That's becoming corporate. And so I see the value of both sides of that. It just depends on where you are at the time. So I think, if your friend, at some point, if she builds her business up and she wants to, take it to, 10 times what it is, at some point you have to learn those things they teach in the business school, because that's where you're working with. The other thing I'll say is, you build a network when you go through a cohort in a business school who may become your investors. They may become your collaborators. They may become your suppliers. That's a huge plus. It is. Right. So it's got its purpose, and I've seen both sides of it, because again, most of what I use in my business I did not learn from the college, but there are some pieces and parts I learned from the college and things that have been absolutely essential to getting me to where I am now. So I see both sides of it. Again, I teach in a college, so obviously I believe in that. At the same time, I am an enormous fan of the trade schools. I'm a big fan of that, because for some people, that's a great way to earn a wonderful living. And I don't like to say colleges are for everybody. And the reason is I had a high school guidance counselor that told me that. And that's probably what motivated me to go to school, just to prove him wrong. When you're told you're too stupid to do something, you're like, fine, well, watch this, I'll do it. So now I teach in a college, just take that. Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. I'm not a loser. So no, it really wasn't about that. But I thought that when I graduated with my MBA, I'm like, I should copy this and send it to this clown, but I didn't, So we're going to have to take another short break. We're talking to Manny Lopez, and we're talking about entrepreneurship. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the specific things he does to help the day one entrepreneur and even active entrepreneurs that may have a business going for a while that just want to scale up. We're going to get back with Manny Lopez right after this short break. This is Steve Matley on Building Solid Foundations. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Real men of real estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station KCAA radio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Are you a real estate investor looking for a new opportunity in one of the top tourist destinations in the world? Look no further. Welcome to Punta Cana. Perla Bahia is a private resort-style community in Punta Cana that consists of modern condos, custom villas, and various commercial amenities. So if you're interested in learning more or joining us on one of our monthly investment tours, don't hesitate to contact me today at 909-494-2280.
Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations Radio. This is your host, Steve Matley. We're talking today with Manny Lopez. Manny works with entrepreneurs. He also works with people that are becoming entrepreneurs. We mentioned in the first segment how he works with foster kids and at-risk kids. And the next segment, we were talking about how he helps the day one entrepreneur, that kitchen table enterprise is trying to get going. So when we talk about that, Manny, that kitchen table or basement enterprise out there, what exactly, because you mentioned you help enhance speakers, coaches, authors with strategic PR opportunities, systems of automation. So what does all that mean? What exactly do you help these people do?
So I started my business in 2011, and it was first starting as an advertising agency, me thinking, businesses have things in place. They just need to know how to distribute their content. Then I'm looking at the businesses we're working with. And I'm like, man, you guys need to brand yourselves the right way so the messaging is right. Then I turned into branding. Now it's more focused on the consulting. It's understanding how to use systems of automation for lead gen, how to attract high ticket clients for speakers, coaches, authors, and consultants, how to utilize events that they can put on to position themselves as experts. So a lot of the areas that I teach and what we do in business is I'm working with entrepreneurs on how to attract more business in what they do without having to use things like ads or email campaigns, more of along a mobile strategy. And that has been that Tom Shoes business model where every time I bring in a new client, I can serve more foster kids through, say, from orphan to CEO and manifestation. Part of that school is we're gamifying the whole experience. We kind of flip the education on its head. Instead of charging kids to go to school, we're paying them, in a sense, to go to school and really giving them an idea of how to absorb this education in a lot of different ways.
Okay.
So as far as what I do with entrepreneurs, I work mainly with speakers, coaches, authors, and consultants. We help them with automation. We help them with systems. A lot of it comes down to lead generation without having to use ads and email campaigns. And that's the driving force and the actually funding arm of the From Orphan to CEO project. So every time I do an event, every time I'm bringing in an app development client, every time I'm consulting a client on their processes and systems, that creates more resources in From Orphan to CEO. And we've actually done a little bit of a flip on the education side. You know, normal online platforms that teach any type of mentorship or entrepreneurship usually have a cost involved. They'll have some type of subscription. My format is a little different. We actually pay the kids to go to school. We have a Manny Bucks token that we created back in 2017, where every time the students attend class, every time they engage in class, they show up to school, they're getting paid in Manny Bucks that they can turn around and use within our network to actually unlock opportunities with our experts. So I'm constantly attracting experts that are active in the industries they teach. They have no fear to share the process. And at the same time, I'm helping them grow their business. They're helping our students grow theirs.
Okay, so the win-win all the way around. That's a great concept. So you're actually rewarding them for learning by giving them the resources to purchase what they need to get more training, get more resources. Yeah.
I looked at it like this. All the students that I typically work with that are really excited about launching an idea, they've got no money in their pocket. They can't afford the $5,000 to $10,000 to hire that coach or consultant. They don't know how to integrate a $2,500 program to launch their website or something. So what I've done is I go to my members and I say, hey, you've got a skill set that my students can learn from. Can our students unlock an opportunity in some way that is not free? They have to earn their way to the table. Because if we just give it away for free, they're not going to take any action. But if we incentivize it and gamify it, it's kind of like the way my kids play that game Fortnite. Every time they're playing the game, they earn this token called V-Bucks. They can turn those V-Bucks into like wasteful things like, oh, an outfit for a digital character. Well, I'm like, well, what about if I can have these students go to school learning from active, entrepreneurs that are successful in what they do, and then be able to unlock their opportunities by showing up enough. So they're getting paid to actually learn from these experts and then can use those opportunities exclusively within the group. So it's like an attorney to review their contracts, or a branding agency to build their website, or a coaching consultant or a coach or consultant to walk them through the process of building out their first year.
Okay, that's a great concept. Helps them, because one of the things that people learn what to do, but if they don't have the ability to do it, it doesn't do them any good.
Right? Get them the relationships. We have thousands of entrepreneurs in our group that are happy to serve their way to success. They've already created success. They're willing to mentor others. And we just need these kids to show up.
That's great. All right. So now, is there a specific area that you do these in, or is this an online? How does this work?
When we first started, the From Orphan to CEO project was locally based, Southern California, where I would be hosting physical events.
Okay.
2018, we launched the Manifestation School of Business. Today, we're active in 86 different countries. We've got over 30,000 global users, and it's growing every day. And I don't even have a passport. So we're expanding internationally without having to go actually physically into these locations. We just find members or contributors that are out there spreading the word. And all they have to do is go to a website. They go to a website, they can sign up for free. They can use an email address to track their Manny Bucks and then just go to school. They can do it all from their phone.
That's fantastic. Good deal. Okay.
I use the systems and skill sets that I already have, and that's how we've built this out. The same thing that I build in Manifestation is what I build for other businesses.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Now you have a pretty good sized network. You said 30,000 business professionals worldwide. That's a lot. And we actually connected through someone that's in a connected network of yours. The Fire Up group, I think, is where I met you from. And you've got this network of people that you work with. How did you get going? Because a lot of things, people talk about networking. I don't think people really understand how to really use it. Because I go to networking events, and a lot of people, you see, they go to these events and they never really build a huge contact base. They kind of like the social aspect of it, I guess. But there's a science to networking. So how do you approach networking, and how do you once you maintain a contact, how do you how do you keep that contact? How do you maintain 30,000 connections?
One sentence: serve your way to success. My
Okay.
focus is always to provide value first. Like if I understand the sales process, 80% of the sales that you have in your business are going to be somewhere between 5 to 12 contacts in. And I recognize this very early on. And for me, then I was like, okay, then why am I trying to sell anything within the first 5 contacts? So I'm always looking at saying, where can I provide value? Where can I make a connection? Where can I give you a solution that you can walk away with completely free as a way to establish value? Because if I'm just going to networking events to get a bunch of business cards and then just trying to sell them on a program right away, no one's going to follow up with me. No one's going to show up to my events. No one's going to respond to my text after 2 or 3 of those. So for me, like if I'm texting, which is a main strategy for me, I make it a point that I do not sell anything via text. There's always something free that they're going to receive. So I'm kind of like this Santa Claus 24/7, that every time they see my name on their phone, they know there's a gift inside. Now it's just open it up and see what's there. So that's how I get them to respond. Then I get data. The focus for me is always, I want qualifying questions answered. I want contact information. I want them to tell me that they need my services by me asking very unique questions, not like, hey, do you need my services? It's more of like, hey, you do business with entrepreneurs, right? Hey, you want to get on more stages as a speaker? Hey, are you looking to get on, media opportunities? Do you need referrals for high ticket programs? What's a perfect client for you? Who can I make an introduction for? So when I do that, like I do this with Les Brown constantly, he's always like, Manny, how can I serve you? And I'm like, no, how can I serve you? And he's like, dude, you just keep bringing me more and more and more. I got to give back. So that law of reciprocity is a powerful tool in networking. Give first, and you'll see that you will never be in a shortage of opportunities.
Right. And my experience and it's not all, but it seems like a lot of people in networking, they walk in with the very much the, what can these people do for me? And if they don't make a good sale, or a good prospect the first couple of times, they don't go back to that group. They figure that group's no good. Or they judge it by the size. Well, there's 150 people in this group, so that makes it a better networking group than this group over here with 12. Well, maybe the group with 12 has 6 of your clients in it, and the group with 150 has none. So I share the story sometimes. My probably most productive talk I ever gave was showing up to an event. It was a Wednesday after Thanksgiving. Nobody was there. There was 10 people in the room, 5 of which belonged to the organizer. So there's really only 5 attendees. And they said, do you want to reschedule? I said, no, I'm here. These people showed up. They get the show, right? I gave my presentation. I was educating. I wasn't selling anything. 3 of those 5 became investors in projects I was doing. To date, I think the total of that is about $750,000 of capital from them and people they referred and that kind of stuff, right? And I'm thinking, wow, if I don't think I got that paid much as a speaker. I mean, I don't think Barack Obama gets paid that much as a speaker to show up for an event, right? But if you can't judge it by the number of people or the location or any of that kind of stuff. I wasn't paid to be there. So I think it's show up, be prepared to serve, give what you have to give, and things will eventually work. As you said, it could be 5 to 12 connections deep before you find something there. We're going to take another short break. When we come back, I want to get into a lot more of this networking and some of the things you've accomplished in your connections. This is Building Solid Foundations Radio, and we'll be right back after this break.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections. Hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Solid Foundations Radio.
Hi, this is Jim McLaughlin with Effective Action Consulting, and I've been a member of Fire Up Connect for, probably 3 years now. And what I really like about Fire Up Connect is the unique model that we go through, that we follow, the agenda, so to speak, in the meeting that really has us get engaged and involved with each other in the meetings. It's not that we're individuals, it's that we're all really working together to better ourselves, our businesses, and the community through the projects that we work on. So I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to network with people in this environment, and it's really impacted my business in a big way. So take a look.
Are you a real estate investor looking for a new opportunity in one of the top tourist destinations in the world? Look no further. Welcome to Punta Cana. Perla Bahia is a private resort-style community in Punta Cana that consists of modern condos, custom villas, and various commercial amenities. So if you're interested in learning more or joining us on one of our monthly investment tours, don't hesitate to contact me today at 909-494-2280.
Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations. This is your host, Steve Matley. I am with Manny Lopez today. We are talking about entrepreneurship, supporting entrepreneurs, mentoring entrepreneurs, training entrepreneurs, and helping people that want to become entrepreneurs. And Manny, you've shared a lot with us today, and I want to get into some of this. You have some very strategic connections. You've mentioned Les Brown. I think a lot of our listeners may know who he is. And you've built some strategic contacts. You've also been featured in some well-known publications, including Inc. Magazine, HealthPost, Bloomberg Radio, NBC. So you've been out and around a little bit. So tell us, how does one get to that? Because that's the thing that people think that, well, I could never do that. You know, my message is fine for the local crowd, but you know, Entrepreneurship Magazine's not going to be interested in me. So how do you get to that point?
It's all relationships, to be honest. I mean, how I got into Inc. Magazine was I built an app for one of my clients who writes for Inc. Magazine. She loved the technology and the process that she was like, we have to write about this. Bloomberg was a relationship from being in networking events and showing up, serving, giving value, speaking on stages, sharing my story, and it being impactful in a way that it wasn't just about Manny's trying to sell a service. Right? It's trying to really bring solutions that are different, that are unique, that also tie into my own personal story. So a lot of these things where I've got invited to do anything, whether it's speaking at a TEDx stage that I'm going to be doing next year, or, you know, collaborating with people like Marie Wade and a lot of these superstars in business, to where all we have to do is keep showing up, bringing value, and finding a way that you're not just selling services. That's one of the last things on my list of collaboration or building a relationship. Like, I want to see, where can I bring you the most value? Is there an event you have that I can help you promote? Is there an opportunity that you just need one connection to solve that challenge? And once you kind of do that enough, it does take a lot of work. I mean, I've been to hundreds of networking events. I've spoken on at least 100 stages already. And, you know, looking at how you do this, it's all around building strategic relationships with people who are already influential to the market you want to reach. And then, of course, when you start, you know, gravitating more of these or attracting these higher net worth individuals in your network, a lot of that came from me solving a challenge for them first. I didn't work with Les Brown until I got him to start getting speaking opportunities through my process. Like, I was named one of the best by Facebook when they hit 1 million advertisers. That got through, you know, the grapevine to like, okay, maybe you can help me with this. And then once I'd proven those results, Les Brown's like a good friend of mine now. We call each other constantly. He's picking my brain on different systems and ideas. And a lot of it comes down to that same concept of serving your way to success. Find a way to bring value to other people. They'll make those introductions that you had no idea even existed.
Right. And a lot of people, it takes patience, because we have this, we live in a culture of microwaves and instant food, and we expect instant gratification with everything. Success comes by doing the hard work, and it will come in time. You have to keep putting it in. Yeah, it's a crock pot method. And eventually what happens is sometimes it's not the people you pursued or went after. It's somebody you never knew existed. They hear about you, find out about you, they were referred to you, they come out of the woodwork somewhere, and they have an opportunity you never even thought would be available to you. And here it is dumped in your lap. Well, that's what a lot of people call luck. It's luck. The old what's the recipe for luck? It's the preparation meets opportunity, right? If there was no preparation, if you didn't have the experience, if you didn't put the work in, then that opportunity would have showed up and it wouldn't have been yours anyways. But the fact that it showed up at that time and you were ready for it because of all that hard work you had done and how many people you had helped and served, that's where it comes together. And that it does work that way. Now you have a TV show also, is that right?
Yes, for More Fitness CEO.
Okay, and how do we access that?
Roku. Roku has that on Manifestation, the Manifestation channel on Roku.
Okay, great. So for the listeners, you want to go look for the Manifestation channel on Roku and download that. And then right after that, you want to go to the Building Solid Foundations channel and download that. And you can watch this episode on Roku there too. So there's two things for you to do on your Roku channel. And there's a lot of good information coming out in those streaming services now.
Yes, I love it. I mean, it gives us that opportunity to expand our reach and give people value in a variety of different ways. I mean, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Roku, podcasting. So this distribution model nowadays, it's gold for us to be able to serve more people.
That's right. And now I did reference during the break, there's a plaque behind you. And we were at that event together, actually. And that was one where one of our mutual connections, Marie Waite, put this on. And you talk about giving back. She put an entire event together, a hotel, where the entire purpose of the event was for her to recognize and give honor to just a long list of people that had helped her with, 6 or 7 of her different initiatives and endeavors she's done over the last 10 years. It was just basically a big thank you event is what it was, a nice banquet. She kind of threw a banquet to thank everybody that ever worked with her. Yeah, and that's exactly the kind of thing that we're talking about is how you build these relationships. People recognize you, people then connect you with other people, and more opportunities come your way. And then everybody says, gosh, that person's lucky.
So true, because I got an award from somebody where it was totally different. Like Marie's was just, let's serve, let's give value that I'm recognizing you. And then I remember getting an award a few years ago where the guy in the back of the room was like, just imagine how much more business we're going to close now because I gave you this award. And I was like, well, that was sucky. I thought you were actually recognizing me versus just more. So,
right. Yeah. And there's the awards that are kind of the pay to play. Well, if you join our group and pay this much money, we'll give you this recognition. And yeah, what we went to was there was nothing like that. Most people had no idea it was coming their way. They were just invited to come to a dinner event and then called up here's a thank you for working with us. Yeah. And I think that's exactly what you're saying. Those are important things and the kind of connections that you have. And if you're that kind of person, you end up connecting with those kind of people.
Exactly. That's that law of reciprocity. It helps you attract the right people because if you give value, there's plenty out there that will just take all day long. And it's very easy to see that. The more you give, the more they try to take. But at the end of the day, the people that you truly should have surrounded with you are the ones that see that value, respect that value, and appreciate that value. And, just continuously giving out there is an easy way to build your network as well.
Fantastic. On that note, we have to wrap up for this session. Go to the Manifestation channel on Roku, download that, and get some great information from Manny. Do you have a website, Manny, people can go to?
Manifestation.com.
Manifestation.com. Go check that out. This is Building Solid Foundations Radio. I'm your host, Steve Matley. We want to thank Manny Lopez for being with us and sharing today. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And between now and next time, go do something different this week.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Happy holidays from the crew at KCAA. Do you have a special, personal Christmas message you'd like to convey? Imagine the delight of your loved ones when they hear all about it on KCAA. Do you want to get your message out about your Christmas side gig, business, or service? How about your